Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First item on the agenda is just an announcement that the Moody's Investor Service assigned Horsham Township a AA1 rating.
Yes, sir. So as you know, the financial advisor to the township, PFM, Public Financial Management, they advised me that this is right now, currently in the country, it's next to impossible to get the Moody's and other credit rating agencies to provide the next level, to go up to the next level right now, just because of what's happening in the country with COVID and other matters. We look at this of us maintaining our AA1 bond rating as a great accomplishment. You know, we were hit by COVID with our revenue, our finances, how we managed through that to maintain. This is the second to the highest. So highest is AAA. So we are second to the highest. And so it is a great accomplishment for the township to maintain our AA1 bond rating.
We were AA before, right?
We were AA1.
Yeah.
Yep.
So great job.
Yeah. And also just another quick announcement that happened this afternoon. As you know, you authorized PFM to go and refinance our library bonds. And that sale, they did market our bonds. And today they called late this afternoon that they have sold our bonds, and we did great. Usually the GFOA, which is the Government Finance Officers Association, the normal savings with a bond refinancing, the norm is 2%. We did 6.58% savings. So also the dollar figure when when Scott Shearer, our advisor, was in front of you, he was hoping for $240,000 savings. We did $306,000. So we go to closing on August 25th. Paperwork has already been sent to DCED, and so we're moving forward with the closing, but also great news.
That locks us in, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Very good. Okay, next is the opportunity for questions, comments. Anybody? Yes, sir. Just step up to the mic if you would. We have to get your name and address for the minutes.
Yeah, my name is John Hopkins, I live on Park Road, Ambler, PA. And most of my involves COVID and illegal immigration. And I realize that illegal immigration is a federal issue, but it affects local residents' quality of life on a daily basis. The council may not be able to answer some of the questions, and I don't know if the attorney is here tonight. They probably should be directed to him. And some of the questions he may not be able to.
Get a little closer to the mic.
Yeah, and some of the questions he may not be able to answer tonight, but could have put, the answers answered in next sessions. I guess my first question is, because of COVID and everything has happened, and how do we keep illegals out of our community?
Hi, I'm the township solicitor.
Okay.
I'm the attorney for the township.
Oh, okay.
So you suggested that maybe we could find those answers for you, but I'm going to try and address your question another way.
Okay.
It isn't a local issue. In Pennsylvania, local governments only have the powers that are given to it by the state. The ability to regulate immigration is not a power that is given to the local governments in Pennsylvania. So it probably wouldn't even be something that council would want to authorize me to spend time researching to be able to answer, because the township, the police department, code enforcement, none of us have the authority to deal with that issue.
Okay. I understand that they're, from the border, they're shipped here. Some of them aren't tested for COVID. Some of them aren't even tested for any diseases, smallpox, monkeypox, any tuberculosis. If they are shipped here, how do we know at some point that they're here? Do they register for school? Or at some point we know that they're not residents, they're illegal immigrants. And I guess my main concern is since, how do we know who these people are?
And once again, it is a school district's job to educate all of the residents in the township. The job of deciding whether or not someone's legally or not legally in this country belongs to the federal government. It is not delegated to the local government. So the answer to your question is we don't know.
Okay, but I think it's concern to the citizens because some of these people use children that aren't their children to get across the border. So at some point, they have to be vetted. How do we know that they're not gang members? How do we not know that the children are being trafficked and that they're their children that are here?
And
Especially if we're paying for probably all their social services, education, et cetera.
And I'm going to suggest that maybe the best way to handle this public comment is to allow you to express your comment and your opinion on this subject. I think my answer to every one of your questions is going to be that's not a power that's delegated to the local government. And I'll just stop there, and then you can express how you feel as part of public comment.
Well, I mean, I think that should be a concern, especially for the children. How do we know, when they come here, if they register in school, how do we know that they don't have COVID or any other diseases that are passed along?
I think the school district does everything it can to protect all of the students from COVID and other diseases. Vaccinations are vetted and things like that. But this is the township council. It does not run the school district, and it certainly does not have the authority to deal with immigration issues.
So I guess that's going to be the answer for pretty much all the questions.
Unfortunately, yes. I'm not trying to be unhelpful, but that will be the answer.
When illegals do come here, are they automatically registered for school, or do they have to register themselves?
You'll have to ask that question to the school district. I can tell you what my understanding is, but the best place to ask those questions is to the school board.
Well, I guess that's going to be all, the answers to all the questions. I guess that you're right, you weren't very helpful. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, then the next issue is the update on the COVID-19.
Just a quick update on our numbers for this month. So they are continuing to creep up a little bit. So the positivity rate in Horsham Township is 3.74%. In Montgomery County, it's 3.97%. And the vaccination rate for the state of Pennsylvania is 63.8% of the population that can receive the vaccine have had both shots or a full or the full vaccination, and 79.6% are partial. And that's holding us at, as you compare ourselves to the other 49 states, we're number 9 in vaccination rate across the country.
That it?
Unless anyone
No,
has any
no, I thought it was just like an awkward pause there. Okay, thank you for that. Any questions on that? All right, the PFAS waters issue.
PFAS. So this is your monthly update for the PFAS. Everything in red is different from 30 days ago. So as a long-term remediation plan, wells 20 and 22 each have had 2 change-outs. For wells 10, 17, and 21, the advertisement for bids for their permanent treatment systems has been delayed to late August, early September. And the authority will be coming to your September 8th council meeting and they will be requesting a waiver of land development for all 3 sites for 10, 17, and 21. And as council has in the past, they have granted these waivers of land development to expedite these treatment systems on the wells. The logging and packer testing of 10 and 17 is ongoing, and well 21 is waiting for that also to begin after the removal of the pump. Northwest Water Authority connection, the June test result is 2.1 parts per trillion combined, and the Aqua PA interconnect is non-detect on May 17th, 2021. Private wells, the Navy has offered connections to 47 properties that are below 70 parts per trillion. Most of them are between 40 and 70 parts per trillion. One was connected as part of the Myria contract prior to the Navy offering it to the resident, so that cost will be charged to the Navy. 4 have not responded to the Navy yet, so the Water and Sewer Authority is working on outreach to those 4 property owners that haven't responded, and they're finalizing the plans to connect the rest 35 of them. The Park Creek Treatment Plant, the effluent water coming out of the plant into Park Creek, it's still averaging 27 parts per trillion combined. The June 2021 was 14 parts per trillion combined. And the influent that's coming into the plant, the latest test results for July of 2021, it was 45 parts per trillion combined. Some of the Myria grant-funded projects that the Water and Sewer Authority is working on is house connections. The contract that's been awarded includes 66 total connections, private well owners for residents. No additional connections will be added to this contract due to the contract timing had closing. 45 of the properties have been connected to date, and 33 private wells have been permanently abandoned. The progress is delayed slightly because of the supply chain issues, which you'll see that's just a recurring thing that the authority, but everyone is experiencing across the country, to include ourselves on projects. So the water main extensions, phase 1 on McKean Road, 6 offers were accepted. 2 properties have not responded so far. On Welsh Road, all 5 properties have accepted the offer of connection. Watson Avenue at Columbia Avenue, the extension is complete, and 2 new connections to the main are delayed due to another supply chain issue of meter pits. And the extensions at McKean and Welsh Road are tentatively scheduled to break ground the second week of September, and they're going to do Welsh Road first and then McKean Road. Phase 2 of the water main extensions, they're expected to advertise for bids in mid-August and award in mid-September. This is around Davis Grove Road between Keith Valley and Coons Lane. Again, they're expecting supply chain issues would delay the project past the end of 2021. But all of these projects, all of this happening is through Myria funds to our Water and Sewer Authority. The Navy Stormwater Management Update, as of August 6, 2021, 13.94 million gallons of water have been treated through their pump and treat system near Hangar 80. Also, regarding that pump and treat system, the DEP has extended the NPDES permit for that system to January 19th, 2022. The second pump and treat system, which will be at the fire training area off of Horsham Road, finally, the equipment trailer has been delivered to the site. The contractors are working to connect the piping and test out systems before the startup, and they're hoping to be operational early next month. The storm sewer piping, Navy is continuing to work on the stormwater piping repairs. Work on regrouting other piping joints continues, and right now the work is approximately 75% completed. Regarding this plume stop feature, there's not an update on your side, but we just got today the draft agreement from the Navy for our staff and consultants to review before coming to you with it for the 2 monitoring wells. So that'll be reviewed by the solicitor and staff, and hopefully we'll have that in front of you in the next couple of meetings. Air Guard, stormwater management update. The full operation of their system, their permanent treatment system at the detention basin is expected to be operational by the end of this month. That'll be a good thing. And the wastewater discharge permit between our authority and the Air Guard base, the Air Guard did sign the permit on August 2nd, earlier this month, and they're going to be beginning to monitor in September. And our authority will also meet with the Air Guard personnel at the end of this month to begin discussions about sanitary sewer discharge associated with GAC PFAS treatment system on the Air Guard supply wells. So it is good news that we finally got a signed permit back from the Air Guard folks and things. And as you know, we've been working on that for a few years for that to happen. Some updates, nothing really new on the updates except the National Health Study. Unfortunately, they were going to have a kickoff meeting on this month on August 25th from 7 to 9 p.m. And just like many other companies and organizations, they're having a labor issue. They did not get much attraction to the positions that they wanted to open up the office here. So everything is on hold right now until they can find interested people to fill the labor positions. And I think there's 5 or 6. I don't have them with me, but we put it out, all the communities around us, and to include ourselves, put out the positions on our social media and website to try to help spread the word that they're looking for people for these positions, but they have not been able to find and fill the positions. So as soon as they do, we can get back on schedule with a kickoff community meeting and then starting to collect the blood and urine samples that are needed. And nothing new on the timeline and nothing new on the recap.
Okay, any questions? Okay, next is an update on the thunderstorm we're about to get. It's rumbling out there. Approval of minutes, do we have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes as presented. Second.
Moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Treasurer's report?
The balance in the general fund as of July 31st, 2021 is $4,842,069.16. For the most part, the activities in all funds reflects budget expectations for July, with revenues in the general fund at 77.44% of budget and expenditures at 51.57% of budget. The township did receive our first relief funds from the American Rescue Plan Act. The funds have been placed in a separate restricted fund. A presentation will be made to council in the near future on how the funds can be used. For a more detailed presentation of our current financial position, I would refer you to your monthly booklet.
Move to approve the list of checks in all funds in the amount of $377,905.91, and further move to authorize payment of the same. I also move to ratify the U.S. Bank credit card transactions for the month of July 2021 in the amount of $6,554.28.
Second.
Moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is considering a resolution for a condemnation bill.
As you know, we are in the right-of-way acquisition phase for our Blair Mill Road widening Phase 2 project. Everything is going extremely well and friendly. This is just for 2 properties. It's the same property owner. It's just for 2 properties. It's in lieu of condemnation, so it takes the condemnation process out. It's not adverse or anything like that. So it's just they're actually working to help us through their organization get this done quicker. So that's what the resolution's about tonight.
Anybody have a motion?
I move to adopt the resolution as proposed in lieu of condemnation for property at 100 Whitmer Road and 680 Blair Mill Road, necessary for the Blair Mill Road widening Phase 2 project.
Moved and second, it's a roll call vote.
Mr. Gallagher, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Hill Milborn, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Nesbitt, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
And Mr. McCouch, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next, we are considering amending our sign ordinance.
Yes, sir. The next two items, just like we just recently did for outdoor dining, are LED signs that businesses normally put up. What we did was craft a amendment to our sign ordinance that allows for LED signs for businesses and commercial, as well as churches in residential district, but it doesn't open up the residential district to these signs. And the conditions of the signs are normally what historically you ask the zoning hearing board to place on them, and the zoning hearing board places on them. So again, it's just being business friendly. It's the same, square footage, dimming it in the evening, shutting off at night, what can be on the sign. It's again, something just like outdoor dining, something that would just sort of be more business friendly to the business community.
So we'll have a public hearing on this later in the year.
Yes, sir.
We have two motions.
I move to introduce an ordinance as proposed, amending the zoning ordinance, Chapter 230, to amend the definition and regulations of signs.
Second.
Moved and seconded. This is a roll call vote.
Mr. Gallagher, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Hill Milborn, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Nesbitt, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
And Ms. McCouch, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next is the time and place motion.
I move to adopt the resolution as proposed, establishing a time and place for a public hearing on an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance, Chapter 230, to amend the definition and regulations of signs, Monday, September 27, 2021, at 7 p.m. in the Horsham Township building.
Been moved and seconded. Again, it's a roll call vote.
Gallagher, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Hill Milborn, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Nesbitt, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
And Ms. McCouch, how do you vote?
Vote aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next is a conditional use application that we need to have a public hearing on.
So as council knows, the Rominolo property, you have given that property a preliminary land development approval. It's the single-family home by right plan for the Rominolo property at County Line and Keith Valley Road. Between the preliminary and they'll be at you very soon with final land development review. It was found that the water and sewer mains that are needed for that development off of Park Ridge Road is in our repairing corridor district, right on the edge, right on the boundary. But as Hallmark Homes does, and to their credit, they wanted to do things right. An engineer or their engineer could question, like, do we really need to be doing this conditional use? It's right on the edge of our repairing corridor, but they want it done, and they want it done right. So they have submitted their conditional use application, so you're hearing for that to allow to permit them to construct water and sewer mains in the repairing corridor. The hearing is scheduled for September 8th.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I move to adopt the resolution as proposed, establishing a time and place for public hearing on the Hallmark Building Group, Inc., 1000 Park Ridge Road, conditional use application for Wednesday, September 8th, 2021, at 7:45 p.m. in the Horsham Township Municipal Building.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, and another roll call vote.
Mr. Gallagher, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Hill Milborn, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Nesbitt, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
And Mr. McCouch, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Got stuck in my throat. So we have any additional business, Bill, other than executive session? Mary?
Nothing, not for me.
Okay, so council will be going into executive session now to discuss matters of personnel. Without any further discussion, then, this meeting is adjourned.